Hello, everyone. I'm Phoenix Tremaine. I'm here with the cast of Forbidden Conversations.
Hello.
We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff today. We want to talk about Meghan and Harry. We're going to talk about Meghan and Harry. We're going to talk about some sex stuff that's going on in the media. We might even talk about some blackfishing, that's been going on social media. So, we're going to be talking about lots of topics, and hopefully you will enjoy it. Feel free to talk to the ladies and let them know what you think. And I'm going to get this laptop ready so that they can see your comments.
Yes.
Holla at us, y'all.
Yes. Welcome. And we would like to introduce one of our new guest co-hosts is Shine, the beautiful Shine. Welcome.
Shining bright.
Yes. I am Esty Nelson,
Rhea,
Jasmine,
and thank you guys for watching.
And
welcome.
turn your sound down so it don't create echo. No.
We're just looking at each other right now. We see you. Do you see
Melissa.
us? We see you.
Melissa. Hey, Melissa.
Hi, Melissa.
One of the soap fans. We see you in
Hi,
here.
Melissa. Thank you for joining us. So let's start off with talking about the Meghan and Harry situation.
Well,
So for those that don't know, Harry and Meghan, the royal couple, released a statement saying that they wish to be more independent. They were separating themselves from the royal family. They wanted to be able to have more control over the type of work that they were doing, the type of income that they received. So they will no longer receive income for the royal family. They will split their time between North America and the United Kingdom.
And they're in Canada now.
Yes.
by the way, Melissa,
Wants to know, what do you talk about on the show?
all the hot stuff.
Everything.
Talk about
Conversations that are forbidden.
love and relationship issues, dating issues,
Sex,
race issues,
Everything. Politics.
child rearing issues sometimes.
Everything that falls under what's forbidden.
Forbidden.
So the
Yes.
stuff that you're not normally gonna hear so much out, and maybe you talk inside. That's what we talk
If
about it
there
right
is a
here.
topic that you'd like us to discuss, leave it down in the comments,
Yes.
or let us know, and we'll.
Marla, okay, we're actually about to get in that because they have some supporters in us.
Yes.
So give us a chance to get into it,
Yes.
and please still
So Melissa
Give us your
loves it
comments.
all.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Melissa.
So everyone has a position on this. My personal position is that from the very beginning, first of all, Meghan was treated like some basically clout chasing, looking for attention, gold digger, all these things. And the very first problem was her race, of course. So that leaves a lot of issues. Now, we're talking about, that's one of the things we're really going to address and talk about, is the fact that this was such a big deal. And look at how she was treated. And why was she treated that way? Why is it that big of a deal? Imagine if she was darker. Would it have been way worse?
Yes.
These are the things that we're trying to explore with this topic. We're not going to pick on them. We're not here to say anything bad. We're here to really kind of look at their truth and how they're trying to live their best life.
Welcome, Sandra.
And I think one of the. Is that my mom, Sandra?
We got a sidebar question. Do
Oh.
you think they will impeach Trump?
No, they will not.
I don't see it happening.
It will not make it through Senate.
No.
We would all like to see that happen,
Yes,
but it won't.
but it won't.
No.
I don't see it happening at all.
Christina says Harry and Meghan are her favorite royal couple.
Mine as well.
Oh.
That's sweet.
And I think it was really blatant, the type of discrimination that she faced. Even if you look at the reporting from how they reported about Kate touching her baby bump, it was Kate lovingly caresses her baby bump, as the time grows closer to birth. And with Megan, it was like, why does she keep
Why does
touching
she-
her baby bump, trying to force herself on us, force the pregnancy? It was really ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was really obvious
Mhm.
and really ridiculous.
And they had such a high expectation of her, of
Mm-hmm.
how she appeared. It was almost like they were trying to whitewash her, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I
Take all
think
the
her
black
family
out of
didn't
her.
help. I think
Oh, no.
her dad
Oh,
and
her dad
sister coming
especially,
out and
yeah.
calling her all kinds of names, but
Mhm.
those are people that were not involved in her life growing
Right.
up. They knew nothing about her,
Mhm.
and I would consider them to be the clout chasers.
I was just
Yeah,
about to
yeah.
say,
Yeah,
talking
trying
about
to get
clout.
some fame and
Yes.
money,
Especially
from being
her
able to
dad.
discuss her.
Yeah.
Yes.
The way he-
Because where
went
have they been
extra.
her
Yeah.
entire career? She's been famous. She's been a celebrity. Where were
Mhm.
they her entire career to come up with these stories about
Right,
her?
right.
Marla, yes. It is all about race with Megan. That is the
I
world
agree,
we live
Marla.
in. And
Yes.
yeah, it is
Mhm.
unfortunate. That's where we're at. Let me Christina, okay. I think Duchess Kate is fake, but I love William. All right. We hear you.
Yeah.
You know, that talking about even Kate and William, like the stark differences like that you brought up.
Mm-hmm.
So the standard to which they're held, or how she looks, or if she looks in one direction, or if she
Mhm.
turns her face, it's this
Or
the
what she's
scrutiny.
Or
wearing.
even with something
too.
simple as an avocado. They reported that Megan was contributing to climate change because she wanted an avocado, destroying the environment.
Oh my gosh.
But then they
I
also
love that.
reported that
Yes.
Prince William brought Kate an avocado because she was craving it during her pregnancy or something like that. It helped her not feel so nauseous. So
Mhm.
you can really put headlines next to each other, and some
Mhm.
You
people
could.
have
You
Yeah.
could.
that show how blatant that racism was.
Yes.
Melissa,
Mhm.
I agree with you. I wish that it didn't matter. We're all the same. We're all humans, but unfortunately, I don't personally think it's the same. There's a lot of discrimination, not just against the Black community, Hispanic, Latino. You have so many different people that are discriminated against. So
Yes.
in
And
a
plus
happy
she-
world, it
And she
wouldn't
was
matter.
an American.
And
So
she
there's
was
that layer
American,
too.
so that didn't,
Mhm.
There's that
didn't
layer
help.
too.
Right, it didn't help. And even when Elton John let them use his private plane, they made it seem like this big deal. Oh, so you
Or that
fly
she had a
private,
baby
or you-
shower, or that she had a baby shower in the United States
United
and in the
States.
UK. Okay, her
Mhm.
family and friends are here.
Are here.
Why wouldn't she?
have her
Right.
baby shower surrounded by her people?
Right, well, maybe everyone couldn't make it to the UK.
Right.
But if she
Mhm.
would have spent that money to fly those people
Oh,
to the
yeah.
UK, it would have been
Oh, it
another
would have been
issue.
a big
Yeah.
deal.
Mhm.
That's something else to
Oh,
talk about.
she's using the money in that
Mhm.
way, or yeah.
Christina, I'm glad you were not raised that way, and I'm hoping that that's a new movement, that people
Mhm.
are going to raise their children to not
That's another-
see color.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's where we're going with this.
I think I don't like that. I don't like when people say they don't see color. I think it is important not just to see color, but to recognize the value that each different minority
Brings to the
group
table.
brings to the
Yeah.
table, and that they are valuable, and that they are, you know.
But we have Melissa here saying
Yes.
that she gets discriminated on and made fun of because she's a Black
Right.
woman. And that's something obviously we can relate to on many levels.
And I have a
Half Black cousin.
cousin.
Glad you
Yeah,
brought that up.
yes, that's a big
Because
issue.
listen,
And that's
I don't know about you
Go
guys,
ahead.
but I'm
Yeah.
all about the one drop theory. Okay,
Mhm.
listen, I don't matter if you got one drop of Black
Exactly,
in you.
yes.
You're Black because
Yes.
white
Yeah.
people aren't
Right.
going to take you. Okay,
Mhm.
it just doesn't
And-
work that way.
yeah, and we're all mixed with
Something.
We're all
Everyone
mixed
is.
with something.
But
so.
that's kind of a broader thing because
Mhm.
that's something within our race, this interracial thing about light, dark, all and how
Yes.
people treat each other and how
Yes.
people respond to each other.
Well, I think when you look at the media and when you look at just commercials or TV shows, often when it's the Black representation and it's the woman, it is a lighter skinned woman with the
Yes.
curly,
Mhm.
loose curled hair,
Yes.
and you know, and even when you have somebody like a Viola Davis or whatever that's in How to Get Away with Murder, she's married to a white man.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like, if you are
Okay.
too dark,
Mhm.
maybe we have to give you that white friend or that white husband or white girlfriend or lighter skinned person to make you, you know,
To bring you
palatable
into it, right?
to
Yeah.
to white viewers.
Because
Yeah.
that's the thing. I think
I'm gonna still
I
use that one.
Okay.
opinion.
All right.
I think a lot of people
Okay.
within the white community feel a little threatened by minorities, and we almost, like you said, have to integrate some form of white, so to speak, around us, so we're not
To make
so
it
like
legitimate.
right. So you're not so scary, you know. That's again just how we see it. Yes, we do need Obama back, Melissa. Thank you.
Yes.
But before that, that's a good
Yes, we
comment.
do.
Okay, Sandra, do you
Good
think the
question.
kids raised during the Obama time have a different outlook? They really don't see color. Actually, that's an interesting thing you brought up, and I'll tell you why. I think the Obama administration was amazing, and it gave everyone a chance to go more towards a peaceful route. We had a black president.
Mhm.
However, what backfired right after that is that Donald Trump used that as his, platform for middle America to make America great again. He meant make America white again is what he
Yes.
meant.
Yeah.
Because we had a black president. So whatever Obama did that was good, I just feel like he just rolled that all back, like
yeah.
mileage on a car.
Mhm.
Of course.
Yeah.
I don't think that kids don't see color. I have relatively young children. I have 3 girls, ages 13 and 11. My twins are 11. And it may be the way they're raised, but I don't raise them to not see color. I raise them to respect people and love people regardless of their color, but also to not allow any master race person
That's,
to
yeah, that
allow
makes
them
sense.
to feel less than.
Yeah.
I think that seeing Obama, for them, they didn't know another president. They only knew Obama. They grew up knowing Obama and Michelle. And that is their definition. I'm glad that there were no scandals. I'm glad they got to see 2 very clearly black individuals loving each
Educated.
other,
Yeah,
educated, had a lot of accolades prior to the presidency. They got to see other countries respecting them in their roles.
Dignified.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think that was very important for our children in our community, and I think it will continue to be important moving forward. I think it's unfortunate that the very next representation that they have is of Trump, but I think having that classy or representation first allows children to be more discerning and allows them to say, hey, this behavior is not okay. I don't like it. I don't agree with it. And I think you'll see a lot more strong opinions coming from Black children about race and what they find acceptable.
We see you here, Christina.
Christina.
My boss is a black woman. What does that mean to you?
Yes.
How do you feel about
Yeah.
that
Is that
in that statement? Is that you're saying, like, what do you, can you elaborate on that for us?
yeah.
Melissa is saying that she is a big woman and she faces discrimination
Based on her size.
on your size.
Oh,
And you're right, there's so
Yeah.
many forms of discrimination. We feel your pain.
yeah.
There's
yes.
been a big thing about like Lizzo lately.
Oh yeah.
How
Mhm.
Lizzo
That's
takes
a
the
good point.
same
Yes.
sexy
Mhm.
pictures and
Yes.
poses and wears the
Mhm.
same type of lingerie and things
That's a
that
good
somebody like a Nicki Minaj or
Right.
Rihanna
Or
would wear.
Beyonce.
Yeah, and it's
Mhm.
like, why is it okay for a smaller woman to wear lingerie
Right,
But a
right.
bigger
and take a
woman
risque
Mhm.
pose
And
and a larger
Lizzo,
woman?
she is like
Yeah,
doing it.
yeah.
You know?
And she's all about body positivity.
Right.
And she's taken a break from Twitter because of what was said about her, about
People
dropping her on Iran.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
and that's
Horrible.
that is
Yes.
horrible thing. And this is the type of stuff our kids are seeing. They're watching this on social media, on YouTube.
Mhm.
I know this for a fact because I work with kids, and they are constantly talking about these things because they have phones. They watch YouTube and all kinds of social media, so they know what's going on, you know.
So when you say you work with kids, have you noticed them being more or less nicer to their larger peers?
They're
Um,
actually no, they're very frank. You know, children, they tell you what they think. And what you were saying earlier about them, as far as kids don't know the color. The kids I work with, they're
No color.
constantly, these are school agers and even some of the younger ones,
Mhm.
they're constantly talking about, oh, you're darker than I am.
Yes.
Oh, I don't like you.
I've
Or
noticed
your
a lot
skin,
of that.
they're
Or
comparing
calling each other
complexions.
roaches and things like
They're,
that.
yes,
I have
they're
a lot of
very mean
conversations
to each other.
Yes.
with my children,
You know,
because a lot of times they're repeating things that they heard at home and they don't even recognize that something is racist. I have to
Right.
say to my children, that is a racist and offensive statement.
Yes.
You are not allowed to say that.
And they're
And
repeating
they
stuff
didn't
that they hear in
understand
school.
why they couldn't
Yes.
say it.
Mhm.
Or to them, if I call someone a roach, to them I'm just calling them a bug. I'm not saying, but they
Mhm.
don't know the history of
Right.
darker skinned black women
Exactly.
being called
Exactly.
roaches or
Mhm.
something like that.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
It is definitely up to the parent to educate their
Mhm.
children
Definitely.
about
I-
inappropriateness
Right,
and appropriateness
right.
and things like
Mhm.
that.
We see you here, Melissa. You said, what are the Obamas doing now? Somebody call Oprah.
Yes.
No, that's a good question. I believe that they both have done book tours. You know how
Yes.
wildly successful
Mhm.
Michelle's
Book
was.
yeah.
And they actually are starting to produce some series and work with Netflix. That's what I know. That's what I've heard. But we got to shout out
Yes.
at Oprah for that one. Christina, I thought Obama did a great job as
Oh, yes, he
president,
did.
and I think
Absolutely,
Michelle's beautiful.
Christina.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
right.
Yes.
We all give that a yes.
Yes.
I have a
I think
question.
all sizes of women are beautiful and men. So, yes.
You have a question that you may want to talk about from Angela Burris.
Okay.
And you may need a little more information on it.
Okay. Should we just quick work down with that? We want a woman president too, Christina.
Yes.
Angela Burris, if your father
Is
is white,
Then you're white, and your father is black, then you're black. I think that has more to do with incest within.
What's the rest of it? I don't have the rest
I
of
was
it.
saying you could ask.
Oh, what's the rest of that, Angela?
Right. Can you
It
write
cuts off
in?
right
It cuts
after.
off.
And she has another response too.
Okay.
Colorism is one on YouTube.
I mean,
Colorism is a big issue within the
Yeah.
Black community. Most recently, I've seen examples of that in the natural hair community. People are saying that the natural hair movement was started by 4C hair texture women just so that they could find hair tips and be able to be proud of their hair texture. But it's kind of been, I guess, jacked by women with looser curls,
Mhm.
putting the hashtag 4C on their hair so that they could get the views, but not necessarily having that type of hair or
Right.
that type of so I can see how colorism in our community is prevalent.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
okay, so Sandra, but do you think it is not what you do, but how you do it? And is there a tasteful and tasteless in any size, and Lizzo can be tasteless?
I agree.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think that
I-
what she
you
did
made a point.
at
the basketball
at the
game.
basketball game,
And-
I
and
think
at
that
the-
went over.
And at the
that was
fast
too-
food
that was
restaurant,
extra.
she's also shown at a fast food restaurant, placing her bare behind on the food counter.
Really?
So
Wow,
I
I didn't
think
know.
that
She's being extra. with that.
Regardless-
Yeah, that's
regardless of your size, there is class and there is a taste level
Absolutely.
and there is being appropriate.
yes.
I don't think that and people bring up the cheerleaders. What's the difference between Lizzo showing her bare bottom in a thong at the game and the cheerleaders having on short shorts?
Well,
I think
Remember,
that the
she also had
cheerleaders
tights on.
I think that the cheerleaders' entire bottoms
yeah,
were
tights.
covered
Yeah.
and hers was not. She had a
Mhm.
string. I think
She
that
had tights on.
it is up to
Even if she had tights on, it's still
They're nude tights. They're nude colored
you were
tights.
still
So it
seeing
still looked
the
like
thong. Yeah, it looks
her
like
bottom in a
hair.
thong. I think that it would have. I
But
think it would
you
have been
think Beyonce
appropriate,
did
even
that?
if she was tall, even if she was a thinner woman.
Right,
I would have still
agree.
have found it
I
inappropriate.
agree.
And there
Yes.
are women
Yes, I was
that
gonna
have
say
these
that.
videos of themselves in public showing their behinds at Walmart, doing, you know, all kinds of sexual activity in public places. I find that equally inappropriate and
Right.
disgusting.
Mhm.
And I think it shouldn't, because if it was a man that had his bare bottom out in public, people would vilify that man. If he had his privates out in public,
Oh,
they
yeah,
would vilify
definitely,
that
yeah.
man, and it
Mhm.
shouldn't be allowable
depends.
for a
No,
woman
I'm
to do
playing.
either.
I'm playing.
Especially now, if she's giving a performance and her
They say that He's a
costume,
good practical joker. The guys from Jackass did stuff.
Oh,
like
they-
that.
did
they're
it
also
all the time.
inappropriate.
They did it all the
I
time.
found
They
them
were
also
just
disgusting.
pranksters.
Right.
That's also disgusting.
Mhm.
However, I will
But it was
say,
acceptable.
that I
Oh,
find Caucasian humor to be very heavily based around body parts and being naked in public and farting and all kinds
Oh
of
yeah,
like that's
Uh-huh.
their type of prank always involves like somebody being naked or doing something to somebody's body part. I don't understand that type of humor. I think is inappropriate and disgusting.
Whether you're a size
Example.
2 or
Jackass
size
prime
22,
example.
I don't think it was
Just be
appropriate.
you.
Just you
Be-
know.
be-
Not just
in
that,
your
it's
truth.
not sanitary. I don't want to place my bare butt in a public seat. I think that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Marla, I'm sorry I missed you. We're sorry.
Yes.
We saw you work for a nonprofit about educating people. If you want to pop back up, that'd be great.
Yes.
Because we can't see you
Oh
anymore.
wait.
Oh yeah. Melissa, about people saying Michelle used to be a man and had a
Yeah.
sex
Yeah.
change. That's another form of racism.
Right.
Exactly.
Because why? Because she had.
Mhm.
Listen, I want them shoulders and arms. She
Oh,
could throw 'em
yeah.
right over
Yeah,
that.
It was a way
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
dehumanize her. It was definitely
It was
a way to
yeah.
dehumanize her and
Mhm.
make her
more-
illegitimate,
Right.
And downplay her contributions because
Yes.
those
Yeah.
same people have nothing to say about a former porn star
Mhm.
being the first lady.
Hello.
Mhm.
Ah.
Yes.
Okay.
And also
Marla?
how they called her a monkey. Somebody
Mhm.
called her Michelle
And the
Obama
children,
a
too.
monkey. Yeah.
Marla Garner, I work for a nonprofit where we work on eliminating racism.
That was the one I was trying to get
Okay.
to. Yeah.
What is the name of your
What's the name of your
Nonprofit.
nonprofit?
Can you tell us?
Okay. We talked about that one.
Yeah. We didn't complain when Prince was running around in chaps.
Thank you, Melissa.
Yeah.
That's
my
great.
time?
Hit the like button and subscribe,
Yes.
please. Thank
Yes.
you,
Yes,
girl.
thank you.
We see you.
So
No, we
but as
didn't
far
complain
as
about
Prince,
Prince.
even then, I think there's a level of appropriateness. Like I said, if you're an entertainer,
Mhm.
if you are on stage being paid to perform and that's part of your costume, that is one thing. But if you are
yeah.
just an audience
Out.
member
Mhm. At a basketball game.
at some
You
type
know.
of public event, I find that to be inappropriate.
That's a good point.
Mhm.
Entertainers are doing something.
But
if
then
you're
I
just
wouldn't want to
out-
see Prince at a basketball game with chaps on. I
yeah, I wouldn't want to.
it.
If
And I
he
don't
was
think
in the
we
audience,
would.
I would have an issue.
No.
Ah.
So we, we also have
Roseanne Barr called Michelle Obama a monkey.
Disgusting.
From Melissa. Yes,
Mhm.
I heard
Yeah.
that.
you
and-
know who Roseanne's number one defender is
Trump.
Monique.
Oh yeah,
Monique.
we need all day for that.
Mhm.
We need all day for that. We gotta keep up with y'all, so we can't even do that.
Yeah.
Um, Sandra.
Oh, the what?
Oh, okay.
Sandra Carter, I would say it was racist. A lot of black people taught the same thing.
Okay.
We have a new person.
Oh,
Hello.
be beautiful. Here to
Yes.
support my friend Jasmine.
Jasmine.
Okay.
Hello,
Marla, so you work with the YWCA of Northwest Ohio. Our mission is eliminating racism and empowering women.
Women.
First
That's
of all, good,
awesome.
good
Yes.
for you.
Awesome.
Good for
Yes.
you. Good for being a part of the
Yes.
change that
Awesome.
needs to happen.
Mhm.
Thank
They
you.
also help with domestic violence
Yes.
too.
Oh, with domestic violence as well?
No, I'm saying I just know from personal.
Oh, okay.
Right, right.
Mhm.
There's many things that they do. And thank you for your work.
Yes.
continue, keep it up. Keep
Yes,
up the good work.
yes.
Yeah.
And hit the like
Right.
button. Don't
Yes.
forget to let them know that
Don't
you like
forget
them.
to hit
Hit
the
the
like
like
button.
button.
Yes.
The more you hit the like
And
button, the
Yes.
more YouTube
And
shares
continue the
video.
conversation. Also join our Facebook page. We have a Facebook page, Phoenix Tremaine's Forbidden Conversation. You can go in there and join the group.
Okay. I think there's one here. Here comes one. Okay. Marla, yes, we do domestic violence, sexual assault, breast cancer education. That's awesome.
Yes.
Very, very much so needed. Sandra, I don't think Michelle being called a man was racist. A lot of Black people taught this, or maybe thought the same. Is that what you're trying to say,
Well,
Sandra?
I think that people like same thing with Wendy Williams. That was
Right.
You know,
Or Serena.
or
Or
Serena
Serena,
because of the
Williams.
muscles, the height.
Or Sierra.
Sierra.
Oh, you remember
Yes.
that?
You remember
When
Sierra?
we were younger.
Yes. Sierra was
So
saying she
I
had a
gotta
sex
step in,
change.
Sandra. You know, her being called a man, and all the people you named were Black women.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Her being
Yes.
called a man was another way to try to humiliate her
Mhm.
Right.
Break
and
it
make her
down.
feel less than. So
Yeah.
that's why it comes down to racism and discrimination.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
I
would the
think
same thing have
all-
happened if she was white?
I don't think
Yeah.
so.
Right, like,
Because
would
there
it-
are
would they
plenty
do it
of
to-
white women that are muscular, that have
Right.
strong faces that aren't given that
Strong
Or
energy.
had Adam's apples
I mean, if it
that
was,
are prevalent, so a
Mhm,
lot
that
of
aren't
them.
given that
Yeah.
same energy.
Mhm.
If it was Melania, people lose their damn minds if somebody said that.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
Mhm.
Oh, so Melissa, you're shouting out Marla for doing great work. Shout out again. Shout out
Yes,
again,
yes.
girl.
Yeah.
But the thing I think from my position that a lot of people may not understand until you're in the position, that other races find ways, especially Black women, I feel, and I'm sure Black men too, to make us feel like we're less than
Yeah.
Mhm.
all the time.
All those
There's something that's
microaggressions.
less than microaggression.
Mhm.
Yes. That we can't seem to get around no matter what, and it's even so if you're dark skinned, if you're light skinned,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
always something. Who got good hair? Who got
Right, right,
bad
yes.
hair?
Yeah.
There's this thing about always finding something, people of color,
Mhm.
and trying to turn it against them.
Remember how you were saying you were in the bar the other night,
Yes.
and people are always wanting to touch the hair.
Oh my
or
God.
Touch
wanting-
our hair.
or,
Yes.
yes, you're
Yes,
wanting
yes,
to,
yes.
oh, let me touch your hair. That's your personal
Is your
space.
hair
Is your hair
real?
Yeah.
Is that fake?
Right.
And I was like,
Mhm.
you know what? Because I don't have anything for that. I just don't. I don't.
I don't see the point of even asking that type of question to anyone. Is your hair real? Or
Mhm.
can I touch it?
Right,
And
right.
I'd be like,
Mhm.
That don't even make sense.
can I help you?
Right.
Are your lashes real?
Right.
Are your, you know what I mean? Like, what?
Now, Angela doesn't believe social sexism is wrong.
Okay, so Angela thinks sexism is going to be what stops a woman from becoming president. Yeah. Yeah, we live in a world where women are still inferior to men.
And not just
Yeah.
I think
sexism.
that's what happened with her.
I think that
No, I think what happened with Hillary was straight
I
collusion.
think that she
no.
Yeah.
Besides that, I feel that the majority of Caucasian women have an inability to do what's best for themselves. They continuously, throughout history, it becomes like we agree to all these misogynistic practices. We
That's a
we
good thing.
feed into it because it's good for us as white women, you know what I mean? But then when it's time to vote for something different, so every like 10 years or so, they rise up because they're tired of oppression. They burn their bras or whatever it was in the 70s. Before that, they were suffrage, but then they go right back to the status quo. So it always goes back to the status quo because they seem incapable of doing what's best for themselves.
I like
So
that.
now the most recent thing would be like the pink hats.
I mean, pink, but I mean, look, it's the same thing.
It was
y'all.
the
Just
same
roll
thing.
with
Yeah.
it.
They
Yes,
sat.
yes.
They
It's
sat,
the same
and what was the
thing.
percentage? Like 52% of them voted for Trump, but then they showed out with the pink hats. Okay, but you
Right.
already put him in office.
Mhm,
Yeah.
So-
And thank you, everyone who are thanking us, and they're saying we're talking great topics. Thank you. I'm
Thank
sorry,
you,
we're
thank you
trying
so
to get
much.
to you guys
Thank
in real
you.
time.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
difficult. Please
Yes.
bear with
Appreciate
us.
it.
Angela Burris, Willie Lynch syndrome is rampant in the Black community.
Where's that? Oh. Okay, so okay, wait. Well, she has one. She has one above that though.
Yes.
But first, I'm gonna say beautiful.
Yes.
Of course, we're too loud, aggressive, etc. The list is never ending. Truth.
True.
Yes.
Facts.
Especially in the workplace.
Mhm,
Yes.
Yes.
Angela, you've made 2 comments, one of which was sexism is going to be what. Okay, we did that one. And now your other one, Willie Lynch syndrome is rampant in the Black community.
I think so. Can you
Elaborate
elaborate
on
on, because
That
when you
right.
consider the
Yes.
Willie Lynch syndrome, there's a long list
Yes,
of
there is.
another high five,
symptoms.
Phoenix.
Mhm.
What specifically are you
I
speaking
gave her.
to?
Okay.
Mhm.
No, it's
Thank
Melissa.
you.
That was Christina.
Yeah,
There's
that's
Melissa.
Melissa.
Oh, you go.
Oh, that
Okay.
was the third. Okay.
You should
we
just
didn't
turn
see
around
it.
and remember. Yeah, Angela, we're waiting to hear more about your perspective on that and
Yeah.
what you think we
And
should.
while we're waiting, oh, so we can, oh, that's, okay.
That's
We
him.
can, go on to another topic.
Oh, we got a fun topic,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay.
The one about the.
Oh, no, I thought it was about your competition.
Oh, the sex competition.
Mm.
Okay.
Y'all like this?
Give y'all strength.
Y'all that are queasy, you might want to like pause for a minute, go get a drink, you know. But it's good.
All right. A man dies during a sex competition after finishing the 7th round. A middle-aged Nigerian man has sadly died during a sex competition after endeavoring to finish the 7th round. So he's
I thought that was they were showing the position.
oh no, that was another position.
How many
Oh.
times do you have to ejaculate to die?
I know. Like, was it
and
his
it's
heart?
always the
I
time
think he probably
frame.
had health problems or something.
Like his heart.
I
gave
think
out.
that
Hydrated
he had a heart attack. I think.
How can you
Dehydrated.
It was something.
It had to be a lot of things. Couldn't just
Yeah.
be like a marathon.
Can you get it
of
up
sex.
that many times? Were you
Just
on
from a
medication?
male
That's what
point
I'm
of view,
thinking.
Oh.
Yes.
the more you
Right.
ejaculate, the more it hurts. So you
Really?
reach a
Do
point
Do you
where
think
it
he was
starts
on
hurting.
like Viagra or something?
That could play a part too. Maybe
Because
Yeah.
that lowers your blood pressure. So
to stay, you know.
Were any
Yes.
of those pills that they sell?
Oh, Melissa,
It said
thank
he-
you. So we're all a fun bunch.
Oh,
of
thank you,
ladies.
Melissa.
Thank you.
so much.
Period.
Yes.
Periods.
Yes.
I mean, I have a lot of questions that they're not telling us. They say underlying conditions, too much Viagra,
Yes.
or whatever else. Cialis. What's that other one on the
Yeah,
market?
it's Viagra, Cialis,
Whatever, all
I
that.
can't. I don't know.
And you know what? Like, of course she was gonna win.
yeah.
What I think was gonna
Mhm.
happen.
Yeah, woman. Yeah.
But like Jasmine
Going
said,
out,
how can you get it up? Can you get it up?
that many times?
Or
That
would
many
you? No,
times.
seriously.
In that
would you-
short of a time frame.
Would you
Yeah.
need
Right.
medication?
Yeah.
No, seriously. Would you need medication?
Right.
Or is that natural?
Is
It
it?
So you're saying
depends
if
on
you're
your
like-
age.
When you young,
But he was
20?
middle age.
I'm just saying, I'm
How
just
many
joking.
hours can you go?
When you're
No,
young,
no,
you
but
wouldn't
break
go
that down. So like,
I'm
no,
telling
be
you.
real.
I
So
don't
like,
know.
if when you were
It's
20,
real.
do you really
Right.
think you would have been like 7 times in one day, no problem?
What do you think? I haven't done that.
Oh,
Oh.
really?
Oh,
That's another.
oh, right
forbidden
here.
conversation.
Talking about yeah, forgetting conversations. We got one right here, y'all. All right. Okay.
Is there any man out there that thinks that they can go that many rounds?
We're
Or
waiting to
even
hear
3
from
rounds,
you.
Yeah.
You know?
7.
And ladies, what do you think about
Yeah,
I
that?
think
if
it
he
depends on
died?
the time
Mhm.
frame.
Wait, how would you?
You,
feel?
it's
Yeah.
like I
Yeah, he's
Right?
dead. You're like, oh.
Yeah.
got some
What is-
killer.
Doesn't that
Some
come a point
killer.
where you're
I'm
either
tired.
sore, tired?
Yes.
Right.
Tired, dried out.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. Yes.
Sometimes you
Yeah.
can get swollen.
So here's a forbidden question. Have you ever tapped out?
Yes, many times. Listen, I'm a 15 to 20-minute woman. We probably gonna get one round in per hour. Space it out. I'm old.
Yeah.
Now. Even when I was young,
That's
I
what I
did
was
like
thinking
a
too.
bunch of rounds. Like
You
I like it.
know.
I like quickies. That's my preference.
I don't want to be there all day.
It
I'm not trying
depends.
to be in the bed all day.
It depends on.
I mean, unless you're like
foreplay
away,
or
you know what I
the
mean?
foreplay.
Right.
Yeah,
You're
it
like
depends.
having a romantic whatever.
Mhm.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? At like
yeah.
a
It might
fancy hotel,
depend.
but
It might depend
no.
on. I think for the woman, it depends on how well you know your body,
Mhm.
yeah.
how well you can communicate that to you, and how long it takes you to orgasm. I'm a person that can orgasm pretty quickly in a couple of minutes.
Oh, good for
So
you, girl.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I, after 2 or 3 of those, I'm ready to quit.
And go to
Like,
sleep, huh?
hurry up.
So we're back to your Angela answered your question.
Okay, Angela.
To the Willie Lynch thing. The
Sidebar.
colorism, the crabs in the barrel,
Yes.
just the overall thought process that just a few topics within the context
Oh, I'm a recommend. I have a-
pervasive ills within the Black community.
Beautiful.
So you didn't answer. You asked her. So
Those were her.
Oh. The color
The
purple.
Color Purple movie. How did he die on top of me?
You don't remember that? Why you look? No,
Like, you
not
know.
not.
I do remember that.
But then
That's a good one because we're
Yeah.
talking about the guy dying. Like if he's
Right.
on top of you and he's dead, you're
dead,
like,
oh
what?
my god!
I
you
don't-
know.
I
at least she's
mean-
stiff. You can finish.
Oh
no. Well, see, that'd be the hard part because how you get him up to get it like
Yeah.
out.
Right.
Flip them over.
Flip him over.
no.
I honestly, I don't know if one of you ladies want to. I don't know how to answer this. Excuse me. The colorism. Did you see it?
Well, we talked about the colorism, the light skin, dark skin,
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
That's
the
okay.
I think that is
pervasiveness.
extremely prevalent in the Black community. I think that it's a holdover from slavery and colonialism, where the proximity to whiteness was considered preferable to the proximity to being African or Black. I think that those that looked whiter were treated better, and I think that has continued.
There's so many
Until
examples
now.
of that.
Yeah.
Right.
Even
Yeah.
now, like I'm just gonna keep it all the way real. I'm light skinned
So,
too, so what? I'm
but
sorry.
we mentioned this earlier, you know, about slaves being treated better,
Oh yeah.
but at the same time, you're still a slave. You're still,
Right.
I agree.
you're still getting
We
raped.
talked
You're
about
still
that.
getting, you still
Yeah.
can get tortured, and you still can get killed for saying the wrong thing.
I agree. But if
Mhm.
you're
So my thing is, we're all in this together, and that whether you were in the house
But-
or the field,
Right.
you still were
but you're
going
doing the
through a
crabs,
hardship.
but when you're doing the
Mhm.
crabs in the barrel type of thing, if I know that if I'm a lighter skinned
Oh,
person,
colorism. That what you're saying. I'm just trying to add those reality to the conversation.
right,
But colorism isn't logical. So
right,
So it was created to control people, so that they want
and so
you
they
to,
would police themselves.
they want you to feel like the people in the house were being treated better because
yeah.
it caused division. You're not going to work together to try to free yourselves. You're going to snitch on each other. You know, so it's a part of the whole mind control on divide and conquer.
Mhm.
So, and we're still doing it, and we're free.
True.
You know,
Mhm.
because it's being
Yeah.
taught from one generation to the next, to the
Right.
next, to the next.
True.
And it's shown in the media. It's shown
Oh yeah.
when you turn on the TV and you see a Black couple. The wife may be light skinned with loose curls.
Mhm.
If you see, you know, the Black friend on a white show, it may be a lighter skinned woman with loose curls who
Can we talk more
Yeah,
about that?
yeah.
Because I really want to
Maybe
say
like
something about that.
Yeah.
what's her name from Girlfriends?
Or you
Oh,
could be
Tracy
the-
Ellis
You
Ross.
could be the
Yeah.
dark skin,
Mhm.
Right, but
woman
then
that's
when you're
overweight
there, you
is
and you're
the
kind
best
of
friend.
loud
Yeah,
and
true,
ghetto and
yeah.
Monique-ish. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
why
So
It
why
seems
couldn't
like-
Pam be Martin's girlfriend and Gina
Instead of
be the-
Gina.
Gina, right, yeah.
Right.
That's
Mhm.
it for an example. That's
Well, there's
now I'm gonna say this about the Martin show. I think that the banter between I think that Pam, her type of comedy
mhm.
matches well with
With
Martin's
Martin.
type of
Okay.
comedy.
Okay.
And I
Yes.
think
Yes.
it's better for her to
Yeah,
have
that
been a
makes sense.
friend
Versus
than a
Then
girlfriend.
a girlfriend, yes.
Even
But
though
I
he
think
had-
that Tashina
Okay.
Arnold is such a good actress
Mm.
that she hasn't been given the opportunities to really
hasn't.
be
I think
Yeah.
she's a,
the wife like she is now in the neighborhood.
Mhm.
or in
know.
My Wife and Kids.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But she also
But no,
matches
no,
well her
no.
type of
I said it wrong. That's Tisha. Yeah, I
Tisha,
said
Yeah, that's
Tashina-
her.
Tashina Arnold. You know, now she's the wife on the neighborhood. But Tisha Campbell was My Wife and Kids.
With my
Yeah.
wife and kids,
You
yeah.
know, but because she's dark skinned, she may not have gotten the same opportunities
Mhm.
to be the wife. I would have loved to have seen how she would have been, because we know that Tisha knows how to be the ghetto
Oh, yeah.
friend.
Mhm.
Can we
don't
talk
think-
about that
I don't
for a
think
second?
that
Mhm.
I do not think, it is my personal opinion, I don't think that if they were switched, let's say Tisha was Pam and Tashina was was Gina.
Gina.
I
Mhm.
don't think that Tisha has the
You've never seen Tisha ghetto before?
I have. I'm not talking about her being ghetto. I'm talking about the banter, the back and forth of it. I think that some people are quicker on the draw and they can kind of like joke back and
They
forth.
started making Tisha do that with
Easier.
Martin, too.
They
Yeah.
did
In
later.
They
the- in
did,
the
but it-
earlier
but it
seasons, she
wasn't-
was just
but it
the-
wasn't
the-
the-
but it
as
still
later,
wasn't
went-
the
they
same.
did.
It was later
Like
on.
some people have the ability to freestyle their comedy. You can go
Well,
off.
Martin made them all do that.
I know, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I think that it looked so natural, and I think the dynamic was perfect for the type
But
of
why is
abilities
it
that
perfect?
they had.
Is it perfect to always belittle the dark skinned girl?
No, I don't think it had anything
I
to
really
do
want
with
to
her
say
being
something
dark
about
skinned.
that. I really want to say
But
something
you know
about
what I'm
this.
saying?
No, I do. I really do.
Because it makes it for colorism. It makes sense in people's heads. It may not make sense in people's heads for him to do that to a light skinned girl because of colorism. But go ahead.
Go ahead.
I want to say something, but quick,
Mhm.
Melissa, shout out to our girl Jasmine over here, looking like the beautiful Mrs. Huxtable. Okay. I've been dying to just say this to anyone. I feel, and I'm light skinned, so I'm going to say it, okay? I honestly feel in entertainment, you have a better chance of getting ahead if you're light skinned. Beyonce can, listen, she got it. We get it. Queen Bee, we got it. But would she have gotten that far if she didn't have such whitewashed
Kelly.
features?
She was Kelly.
Well, I mean, right. I mean, think about it. She had the hair, she had the like, her features.
Because Kelly's a very, very beautiful woman.
Right.
She acts probably as well as Beyonce, or
But
better,
she's
or
darker.
better.
Or look
Yeah.
at, people
Yeah.
like J-Lo,
Mhm.
or who, she's whitewashed. You get her in New York, she got her Bronx thing going and
Mhm.
everything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But the minute the camera's on, she's just talking to you like
Mhm.
this.
First of all, she plays white women in her
All
movies. She
the
doesn't
time.
play a Latina.
Right,
she
plays
doesn't.
a white
Right.
woman.
Honestly,
Those
there's
are-
only like two,
Mhm.
like Made in Manhattan
Right.
and
Other than
Hustlers.
that,
Hustler,
she,
that was
she
it.
plays a
She
white.
plays, and she doesn't
right.
do it very well. I'm
Mhm.
sorry, girl.
Yeah, she
You knock
doesn't.
out the New York
Yeah.
roles, you knock out Hustlers, girl, but that white thing is just not for you.
Yeah.
But, or even like Vanessa Williams.
But I got to say something about that too.
Hmm.
Is she really acting white, or are there not Latinos that are more proper that are?
There's so
No,
many.
when I say
No, it has to
when
be-
I say
She
a
didn't
white
have to act a
woman,
certain
better.
way
no,
just
when
to
I
be
say a
considered
white
Latino.
woman,
No.
I say
Because that's the same
what
thing
what
when
I
it comes
mean
to black
is
folks.
what I mean
You
is
have to act a
when
certain
the-
way
Hey,
as
Travis.
black.
Yeah.
I believe
But-
that when the
Or is that
writers
a
were writing the
stereotype?
role,
Uh-huh.
they were
Travis.
writing it with the
Mhm.
intention of a
And
white
that was the
woman
big name
being
that
in
they
that
got.
role. And I
Yeah.
think that she came into that role
Yes.
without adding any of her cultural background. She came into that role and played the white woman that they wanted
Because
her to
she
play.
can
That's
pass.
what I mean.
Yeah.
Because she can
Yeah.
pass.
Yeah, because
You
she's
know,
not the
in a
darker darker.
way.
A darker Latina
Latina.
could not have
Right.
slid into those
Right.
roles and
Right.
had the same impact.
And I think
is
that
my
in
opinion.
Hollywood,
Right.
they try to
But-
keep it white.
But isn't that stereotypical not to also have that image? So is having that
No, we're not
specific image
saying that
only
You gotta
for
be
white
ghetto.
women?
No,
We're talking about Latino.
no. Okay, so let's listen. I don't think we're saying that.
Well, when writers
No,
write,
how to-
when writers write roles, they say, I was thinking of this person when I
agree with
wrote
you.
this
know, I
role.
understand that.
So, they
So I'm
know.
just saying it
But
becomes
they
a
got-
stereotype if you don't always have, because I can look across this table and there's people who are going to say, well, why is he using slang?
Right. Why?
Because you're the dark skinned girl, you know, or anyone at this table. Everyone's had an intelligent conversation because we're not all one thing.
Right.
And Latins aren't all one thing. That's all I'm saying.
True.
I agree. But
I'm
then,
just saying,
if
don't
that's the
forget-
case, but the difference is she heavily marketed
Yes.
herself
Mhm.
as a very girl from the hood.
Right, Jenny
From
from,
the
the
Right,
block.
Jenny from the
block.
block.
But it's her
Oh,
music.
yeah.
That's how she markets herself. I say the N word.
But when you're
I'm
an
this type
actress,
of
you
woman.
play the character.
Right,
But-
and they intend for it
And
to
the-
be a white woman.
Right.
But and
that,
no, the
but
thing
that
about this
character,
way,
they're not
Jennifer
casting Jenny
was-
from the block.
to-
They're
as-
casting a white woman.
to back
and
you
she
up.
slid in
No, but
there
to
and
back
played a
this up,
Caucasian.
seriously,
Okay,
to back
you
this
got it?
up real quick, can I just
Okay.
back her up real
Yes,
quick?
go.
Listen, this is the problem with Jennifer Lopez, and I think we're on the same place here. That when she wants to pop off and be
When
ghetto.
it's
She
convenient.
wants to be Jenny from the block, I'm from the Bronx. You know what I
Right,
mean?
it's when
But
it's
But
convenient.
does she
Right,
have to do
when
that in
it's-
every movie?
yeah.
no, saying
Because Tiffany
that.
Haddish does that, and she's getting hell for
Listen,
never being different than from what they expect her to play.
but that's the beauty. That's what we're
Yeah,
saying.
that's true.
We're saying
Yeah.
that she tries to be one thing and slides into these other
So if
roles.
Tiffany Haddish got a role like Jennifer Lopez, and she just kind of like was, let's say her character was bougie, you know, does that mean she's less black? Because we know that
No,
black
I don't
bougie
think so.
people-
No.
So you know what I'm saying.
I know what you mean. You're trying. I know
I know
what you're
what you're
saying,
saying.
but like
I think
Tiffany
it's
keeps
different.
it real.
I was about to
Yeah,
say, I don't
she
think
does.
that's
Well,
Tiffany.
who
I
you
think
are-
that's
who you
natural.
I don't think
are
that's
as a-
Tiffany.
I think
put on
that's
the-
Tiffany.
Like I got a
I'm
better
saying,
example
who
than
you are
Tiffany.
as a person is
I-
not who you're hired to be.
I have a better
Right,
example
I
than
know,
Tiffany.
I know,
Let's talk
yeah.
about the Asian Awkafina.
I was
right?
gonna mention like
Okay.
She puts on the ghetto persona,
Mm-hmm.
the
Hard.
ghetto black persona,
Hard
Mhm.
because
too.
that's where she gets it from.
Mhm.
From when it's convenient. You know what I mean? They could have
And
found
that's our
somebody who
problem.
was genuinely,
Right.
Right.
but now that she's made it, that accent has disappeared.
Yeah.
The hair
yes.
has disappeared. The
Mhm.
mannerisms have disappeared.
And that's what we're saying.
You know what I
about-
mean? But
Jennifer
in the interviews,
Lopez.
but in the interviews, it was this is who I am. I was
Mhm.
raised around
Mhm.
these people.
Yeah.
But now-
this
Right.
and
Now
that.
that it's disappeared, who are you?
Right.
That's my issue.
Mhm.
If Jennifer Lopez could say I'm Jenny from the block, I got this flavor, that's fine. But then don't turn around in the interview
Yes.
and be a white
And be
woman
a-
and be
and be like-
convenient.
Yes.
And, right. That's
Yes.
that's what we're
Be a
trying to
Latina
say.
all the time.
Don't-
Yes.
right.
Behind the
Right.
scenes and in
All
front
the
of the
time.
camera.
If her devil's advocate, because I agree with you, but devil's advocate, if her role does not require her to play a certain way, then she plays that character. Now we've known celebrities, Cher, Madonna, different people, that all of a sudden you're British. What the hell
Right.
happened?
Especially
It's
Madonna.
just, it's just.
Yeah, but
I think
when
a
in
part
Rome.
of it.
When in Rome,
I
though.
think.
When
I'm
in
saying.
Rome.
I think part of it is.
But those people are still white.
I'm saying. I think a part of it is your environment.
You're a British
But
white
Cher's-
woman.
Cher's not white. Cher's not Native American.
I'm not talking about Madonna. Like
Mhm.
she can put on the accent, but, then
But
she's,
not
still,
only that,
she's not trying to say.
she was living in England. So I mean, you know, if you go to the like, if I go to the South, like one year I spent like 8 months in the South. I came up sound. I'm like, my family didn't know who the hell I was. It's possible to
Mhm.
go somewhere and you just pick that up.
I
But
agree.
also what you were
Yeah.
saying about her, she
Mhm.
wasn't trying to like proclaim no
I
whatever.
think-
Let's
Right.
even
I think the
Elizabeth
problem-
Warren,
I
for
think-
example,
one second.
Elizabeth
I think
Warren.
the problem with Awkafina is the transition was way too fast. It was like overnight.
You
Yes,
could clearly
it
see
was-
that you were
yeah,
putting on a
that she was-
costume of
Right.
being
Right.
this
Mhm.
person, this
Right.
persona.
Yeah. Are we got any more?
Okay, Angela, Toshina was the wife in Everyone Hates Chris.
That's true. She was.
That's true.
Okay.
But she was also the boisterous.
I think that's
Mm-hmm.
funny because it's supposed to be based on an actual person, so you
Mhm.
don't know what direction.
What the mother
Chris
really was like
might
in
have-
real life.
That's what I'm saying. She might be playing
'Cause she
to
was
whatever
like
the
a lot-
direction was
Yes,
that she was given.
Because she was like my mother. in a way,
Right.
too, so.
And me too. So
So we have Sandra saying, do you think it's a whiter problem that we as Black people are the one doing this to others and accepting it? Most of like lace front wigs with good hair and yes,
Yes.
yes,
Mhm.
yes,
Yeah.
100%,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
But
Yes.
also, but
100%.
before we can change that, you got to go back to how it started and get people to understand why they're doing it. If you,
Right.
some Black women have said, this is the only way I can get a man is if I look like this, because
Mhm.
that's what he's going after.
Mhm.
So their argument is like, well, I'm just trying to do what I got to do to get what I
think
want.
you see that a lot.
Or
I think you see that a
bleaching.
lot, or even in the
Or
workplace.
bleaching their skin.
Or in
Oh,
the
I can't
workplace
with
Yeah,
too.
that
There are a lot
bleaching the
of
skins.
there are a lot of jobs that discriminate against women with natural hair,
And
women
their
with
parents,
braids,
with
women
their
with
parents.
you know what I mean.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If you look too
True.
black,
Yeah.
you're not going to get the job.
Mhm,
So you
mhm.
go and get a weave that's
Mhm,
straight, or you
mhm.
know what I mean. So
Mhm. And it's not only the women; it's the men too. If they have dreads or
Mhm.
afro, or-
exactly.
yeah.
Oh, so okay, Christina. I wanted to thank the ladies for keeping it real and not sugarcoating anything. Thank you.
Yes,
okay.
thank you,
I have
Christina.
You know.
Can I plug something?
Yes.
Okay, so there is a book. If you are interested in race relations, there is a book that I think is good to read, whether you take or leave the information. It is called Breaking the Chains of Psychological Slavery, and it is by Dr. Naeem Akbar.
Okay.
You can find it on Amazon for cheap, but it goes into that crabs in the barrel mentality. It goes into comedians and how the jester is used to kind of deride heavy political movements. It's a very good book. I recommend it.
That's
You
true,
don't have to
Travis.
agree
We
with
all believe that.
everything that's there.
Yeah, Raven Simone. I didn't.
So Melissa said Raven Simone is part Latino. I think she had a successful career. She started with Disney. Anyone who
Yeah.
starts with
Mhm.
Disney,
Yes,
you
you
got a
know.
platform out the
Right.
gate.
Yes.
Sandra, do you
Yeah,
think?
okay.
Don't you think that Jennifer is smart because she can make her money playing these roles?
Of course.
Of
I
course
never
it's
said that
smart.
her business
Mhm.
mind,
Yeah.
I don't have to respect the way she makes her money.
Right.
We're just
yeah.
we're just saying. And someone here
Mhm.
said J-Lo is culture vulture.
For
Period.
example, her whole thing about I have a big ghetto booty. So it was a whole thing. It was it the 90s
Oh, yeah.
about
Oh.
she had a big butt and blah, and now
It don't look so like that.
Cheerwine.
What happened?
Cheerwine.
cheer one.
Okay, got it. Cheerwine. You can take the girl out of the block, but you can't take that block out of the girl. Lopez can be who she is now and who she was. We all can. What's wrong with the freedom of expression? No, it's not about freedom of expression. We're not telling her not to express herself. That's actually what we're saying.
Right.
When she expresses herself, it's the Latina girl. Okay, that's what we're saying. When she does these other things, that's when the self-expression stops and she turns into a machine that whoever, Columbia, Sony, whoever wants her to be.
Yeah.
That's all we're saying is that she'll flip it out like that. That's all. It's listen, I know you guys will chime in. My thing is, can you be both? Maybe. If you're her, I don't know, because she came up from the beginning with this whole, with this whole mentality, and now she's acting like, it's not there anymore.
Right.
And I just feel like you can't switch it up like that. You
But
gotta be
did she
who you
grow
are.
I
into
was just about
Okay,
to
I know
say
you were gonna say something.
maybe
Mhm.
When you talk about proximity to whiteness, let's talk about proximity to wealth, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of things that are associated with whiteness may be wealth instead of
Okay.
whiteness. You
Okay.
know what I
Okay.
mean? So
Love can change a person.
when you talk about your children going to certain schools, if you speak a certain way, if you go on vacations to certain locations, if you use certain products, and certain people may think of that as being white or acting white, it may just be wealth.
How
So
about
if
this?
you've been
Yeah,
wealthy
true.
longer than you've been poor,
Poor. Right. True.
who are you?
Right.
You're the wealthier
Mhm.
person at that point.
Well, you know,
Because money can change.
money can change
your
Well,
lifestyle.
you know what?
Change your
How
lifestyle.
you think.
Yes.
Because now you're in a different tax bracket. You're not
Mhm.
thinking so much about the poor
Right.
because you have money now.
You have money now.
And you want
Like,
to protect
keeping
your
it-
money.
keeping
Yes.
it real
And-
though.
Let me add one thing about that
Uh-huh.
because that's a great point. When I was in the fire department, they were trying to convince me not to vote for Obama.
Yep.
The reason why is because they were saying Republicans protect your money because you're in the new tax bracket. Obama's going to want to give your money away to the poor and to people using welfare, abusing welfare, all this kind of stuff. So sometimes even our favorite celebrities, they fall for that.
I get him. I agree. When Trump was running for office, how many
Oh, and
black celebrities?
I did vote for Obama, by the way.
How many black
Shout out
celebrities
Obama. Hope
did
you're
you
watching.
say? Did you see? Give him a chance. He's a great businessman.
Thanks, Melissa.
He
Thank
cares
you for
about
coming
the
back. We
wealthy
appreciate
and blah
you.
blah blah. He cares about business owners. There were a lot of black celebrities who originally were on board with Trump and then came on later, like, you know what?
Because everyone forgets Trump was a Democrat his whole life. The Clintons were at his wedding. He was a Democrat. Okay, so that's why he rolled with the celebrities, because he was in that circle. He switched it up because he's not stupid. Well, he's stupid.
He
But he's
said
not
that in
stupid
order
in the
to
sense
win
that
the
he
election, you
knew.
have to be a
Right.
Republican.
Right.
He knew.
Yeah.
He knew, and he knew to tap into that
And
core.
he
of
knew
people.
well. He knew how to tap into the fears of losing white supremacy,
Yes.
Yeah,
and that's why he became Republican.
right. And we just came off Obama. But you know what I do want to? I want to make a comment to what you were saying. For instance, okay, my father's highly educated, has done well for himself in life. He came from nothing, just like nothing, and he's always spoke the same. He's always been the same person. But too often do I hear is, he speaks so good for a black guy, or you're not so handsome for a black guy. And it's like,
What?
I'm gonna punch you right in your face
Mhm.
because
Doing that for a black guy. And,
right,
you
like
know.
we
Yeah.
all hear it. Oh,
Right.
she's pretty for a
Mhm.
black girl,
I have
or
a story
or
about
you
that.
talk well for a black person.
Yeah.
Like, are you crazy?
Like, really? Yeah.
Have you all had an experience with that?
Yes.
My
I-
own personal
I-
experience. When I was in high school, I transferred from PG County, Maryland, down to Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh.
And
Okay.
anybody that is not familiar with PG County, Maryland, it is black. Your teachers are black. Your policemen are black. Everybody is black, and they're all doing well. They have government jobs. They have public service jobs. Everybody, you're just used to seeing black people with good jobs doing well
positions
in
of
the
power.
government in positions of power. So it was a culture shock for me moving to Georgia. And I remember my first time in my English class in the 10th grade. I don't remember the woman's name because if I remembered it, I would say it. She had us reading passages out loud in class. And I read my passage and she said, "Oh, you read so well." And I said, "I'm in the 10th grade. Why wouldn't I read
Right.
well?" And she said, "Y'all don't usually read well."
Y'all.
Y'all, wait,
Y'all.
y'all. I first of all, wait, what you mean, y'all?
So
Y'all.
I said, "What do you mean, y'all?
Exactly.
Who is y'all?"
Right.
I said, "Y'all as in 10th graders, y'all as in the children of this school. Who is y'all?" And she sent me to the office because she could see I was getting riled up. But
She didn't want to leave on a stretcher.
see my
That's
face.
the thing. She didn't want to leave on a
And she
stretcher.
didn't
Right?
answer
She
that
was like,
question.
oh.
Right, right.
She was
didn't.
like, oh.
But that's just an example of how your children may be going through something at school that you don't know. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
when
yeah.
we say our children need our teachers or something like that, or we need examples of us in the class, that's what you mean, because you won't have that type of y'all read so well. Like, what are you trying to say?
Right, right.
Oh, by the way, Boy Travis is saying, I'm in the A.
Yes.
I'm in the A.
Shout out to the
A.
A.
And Melissa, we'll see you when you come
Yes.
back. Oh, this is good.
This is
Angela.
a good one.
Ooh,
Yes.
Angela, we
Yes.
love you, girl.
Yes.
J-Lo, she had a butt reduction. She should have had vocal surgery. Ah!
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got her
Yes.
back.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, girl. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
That's, you know what? That's that I'm
So there
so
was
obsessed
it
with
there.
that right now.
Yeah.
You know, like
Mhm.
But
you're
that's
working
show
on the wrong things.
Right there, her having a butt reduction. Why?
Because she didn't want. I honestly
Because
think
she's
again
reached the
she's
point.
going
She's
back to
reached the
that.
point where she didn't need that.
She didn't need that selling
She
point
didn't- the
anymore.
ghetto-ness
That she didn't need
anymore.
that. She didn't need her
Because
gimmick.
now, right.
Her
Right.
gimmick.
And that
Right,
made that
Right.
Mhm.
Her gimmick
Yeah.
ran out,
Mhm.
and
Black women and other women started having real butt jobs and
Right.
having bigger butts. So she was
Mhm.
like, I could just be the white woman that I want to be now.
or you got the ones that think they're black.
Yeah,
Kardashians. Y'all need to stop because you're not black. I don't know if anyone let y'all in on that.
Right.
I don't want to hear I'm Armenian. You're from
No,
America,
no,
baby,
it's-
okay?
I'm Armenian.
I'm Armenian. So like
I'm
we're
so
darker
gorge. I'm
and
gorge.
I'm naturally like this.
I'm gorge.
I have natural
I just
body.
sit on my phone. and-
Right. We seen pictures of y'all from 10 years ago. Knock it off.
Yeah.
Okay. Marla, I had a teacher say to me too about being articulate.
Yeah.
Why? Because I'm black?
Exactly. And I let me say this: if you do have children, teach them to recognize those type of microaggressions. Teach them to speak up and teach them to come home and tell you. Because I was real quick. For another example, when I same high school, at the time those black power shirts with the fists were becoming popular again amongst the youth. So the black kids were wearing them. They didn't have any type of words. It was just a black fist. White kids were wearing a lot of Confederate flags and had Confederate flags on their trucks and belt buckles and all kinds of things. But the black kids were told we had to turn our shirts inside
That's
out.
true.
And we
Yes.
had to because people found them offensive. So I went right into the office and I said, I find Confederate flags offensive. Are they going to also have to take their belts off? And I was told, no, that's not found offensive. I find it offensive. Do I need to go contact the
Right.
news? Because I will. I'll contact the news and have them down here.
Did you catch that last comment?
I'm about to get on
Yes.
that.
Okay, because we're about to wrap. We're
Oh.
past the hour.
Okay.
So we're gonna.
One last comment.
You want to wrap with the last comment?
The last one?
Yeah, because it's definitely gives you a pointed question.
I mean, I kind of like what Beautiful said. But
Yes,
all
I
right.
do. The last comment, do you think blacks are the one that caused the other?
Well, that's a new comment.
Oh,
That's not the one I was talking
oh,
about.
you talking about Trump?
Can I just quick say, yeah,
That's a
Lopez
good
is a
point.
mom. It's not about her having to be the same person she was when she was 20. It's about her being her authentic self.
Thank you,
That's it.
Christina.
Okay, so Angela, you want to go to Angela?
Yes.
Okay. Angela is saying Trump is a part of white flash. No, what they say is you're articulate. Look at my daughter, has been in Catholic school since kindergarten and went to the best public high school.
Is that the one?
Is that the one?
No, y'all were actually already talking about it.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay.
It was the Jennifer Lopez.
Oh, right.
that
Okay.
was the last
So she
one.
has to be
Okay.
the same after being a mom.
Okay.
Okay.
The last one was, do you
But-
think blacks are the one that cause other races to see us in a bad light because they say it? That's ghetto. You know what? That's a good question.
It is a good question.
Because I've had white people say to me, well, the reason why we think you're all like that is look at the videos, look at this, look at that.
in the news.
Right, and in the
The news play a big part in that.
Well, and I think the news, they're the worst because they project that.
Yes.
Watch out for those black people across the
Mhm,
street. They're
mhm.
gonna rob you, you know, or whatever.
Right.
Who owns all of that?
Well, all the media is owned by
Yes.
older white men.
I mean, you know,
It's just funny because it's cyclical.
Right.
Black people are always looked at in a negative light, but they're
In a
also
negative
looked
light.
at for what is the future.
Mhm.
Look at
people with the sideburns back in the 80s and the 90s. It was black girls with the gel down sideburns and the long nails and the big earrings. And now you look on the runway, we were called ghetto then, but on the runway now you're seeing white women with the sideburns and the big earrings and the long, I mean, so
and that's chic.
they want everything but to be black.
Yeah.
But don't stop coming up with ideas.
I mean, I'm not gonna be walking down the street and then there's someone coming towards me at night and they have a hood on, and it's I'm gonna cross the street because it's a black guy walking down the street with a hood on. I'm gonna cross the street whether it's a white guy, an Asian guy, whatever.
That's
I'm
funny,
gonna cross the street
because
This
I
is,
tend to
you
clutch
know,
my purse and not be in elevators alone with white men because I feel that they have trouble controlling their sexual urges. So I lock my doors when they walk. Whatever you think that an old white woman would do when a black man walks down the street, I do it when a white man walks back down the street, to me.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Can I say one last thing? We unfortunately can't get to all of your
Yes.
comments because
Yeah.
they're
You have
going
to
through
wrap,
and
yes.
we're talking. But I want to quickly say there was one about mixed people acting black. Listen, back to that one drop rule, okay? If you got any black in you, you are not white. Walk into a white community and see if they're ready to take you in and be like, oh,
Yeah.
no, that's not the way it works. There's no acting black. Acting black is if you're not of any black persuasion and you're trying to pick up a culture that is not yours and be a part of it and maybe stomping on it a little bit, like we said earlier, the Kardashians, okay? They're stomping on it.
Right.
So just my opinion, that's no. You can't say mixed people are acting black. That's to me that's ludicrous.
And just to elaborate, it's when people say that it's when you emulate somebody else's culture and you're pushing the harshest, worst stereotypes of that culture, you know. So, you know, I remember like when people do blackface,
Right.
you know, black people will look like Marilyn Monroe and you may have a blonde wig on, but you don't go get the powder and go.
Right.
She said who
right.
claiming to be black, not acting black.
Well, first off, if you're biracial,
She said I did not say.
by default, you are, for many people, especially races, the other culture,
Right.
not their culture, because they don't want you to have babies with their culture because they're trying to keep a pure. If you're racist, you're trying to keep a pure
Right.
race, and so if you have any blood in you of another culture, Latin, Black, Asian,
You have
Native
to claim
American,
that culture.
because they don't want you to be a part of it. That's why it's called white supremacy.
Right.
You
So no,
It's not
right.
called multicultural supremacy.
Right. It's
Right.
called
Yeah.
black.
You know, so
It's not about
it's
claiming.
people that are racist and prejudiced and discriminatory that want to keep things a certain way, and by keeping things a certain way, they have to keep people out and they have to keep people disenfranchised and they got to keep people down.
Right.
So you just got to call it what it is.
Yes.
But
Travis Wade, black.
Black power.
Black
Travis
power.
Wade, black power.
Yes.
but I'm
Yes.
coming back
Okay.
here
Yes.
Crazy.
to say thank you to my ladies of Forbidden
Yes.
Conversations. You can follow them on there's going to be a link. I haven't put it up there yet, but there's going to be a link that takes you to the website where you can actually see their show, Phoenix Remains, Forbidden Conversation. It's a show from the female point of view.
Yes.
I moderated a little bit today, so,
Yeah.
so I was here too. But I made sure that it was always a pointed question to get their point of view. So thank you for watching, and all of my Soap fam that came and watched and enjoyed this. Please
Yes.
spread
Thank
the
you
word
guys. Yes.
that we have Soap fam, but we also have Forbidden Conversations.
Yes.
And we have a male talk show called Phoenix Remains, The Hard Truth, Men's Edition. So we'll be filming that later today. So, try out some of our other shows too. But I'll see you on Soap Fam very soon.
Yes, and don't
Thank
forget
you.
to join our group.
And subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Yes.
Thank you.
Period.